over. Now I'm gonna say this for the third time. Okay.
It's all right. Yeah.
Bill Cosby, I don't care how you felt about him. He means and he meant. I don't know what part of your feelings with Bill Cosby you're in. Either he meant or he still means something to you. Because for other black community, he was a big icon. Okay. I mean, he went into mainstream. White people loved him. He was just Bill Cosby was just like his character on the Cosby Show. That's what we thought. And we just felt like something was taken from us because a lot of people didn't believe allegations. It just seemed like it was just too many, and we was like, well, why did they come so late? But the most important part of what I'm trying to say is that Bill Cosby meant something to us, means something to us. He always tried to give us advice and educate us on things, and he got criticism from comedians, other comedians, and people saying, well, he shouldn't be telling us how to live and he's going too far. But if you look around people, you're looking at what society going, hell, don't we need somebody to tell us how we can do a little better? Hell, I'd rather what Bill Cosby was telling us when he would say, pull your pants up and don't act ignorant. And when he was being honored by all these schools and they gave him these degrees, and Dr. Bill Cosby, he meant something to us. If you go back to the 80s, he was in all the movies with Sidney Poitier, and we know how high of a pedestal we put Sidney on. He was big time. I mean, and before Tyler Perry was here and he was known for giving black actors jobs, who did we have? We had Bill Cosby. And we cannot forget that we had Bill Cosby. And if you didn't have a father, you looked at Bill Cosby. Now, people say that show was it wasn't realistic. But so what? Kids believe in dreams. Malcolm said he had to have a dream. Bill Cosby gave us something to aspire to. From the Bill Cosby Show to the different world, he taught us to be good at home, listen to your parents. Then you go to college and you get your education.
Right.
So, you know, it was a lot of people who was on Bill Cosby's team before the allegations came out, and then they just threw him under the bus. Like the guy who was married to Lisa Bonet on the show. Right. You know, he's been in the public, you know, bashing Bill Cosby. I'm sure Bill Cosby had a lot of time in prison to think about that and look at the people who actually still had his back. We know people like Eddie Murphy said some things. Well, he was on his side at first, and Bill Cosby said thank you. His representatives was tweeting for him and just relaying messages. And then you had some comedians that were trying to, you know, tell jokes about Bill, and I guess they say it's fair game. But anyway, the whole point is Bill Cosby is an icon. He's done things that a lot of people haven't been able to do. He's had money that a lot of us haven't been able to attain. And then we see him just like so many other black icons. They throw dirt on the name. So that's when I first heard the news. I couldn't just say guilty, guilty, guilty until I heard all the facts. Because in our history, they take our good ones and the ones that we hold with so much esteem, and they throw dirt at the name. So that's my little opening statement, Ron. If you want to now reintroduce yourself and then also give your thoughts on Mr. Cosby.
Well, first and foremost, Sister Kera Dangerous, I really appreciate you having on this platform at this most important time. Dr. King will call this the fierce urgency of now, the times that we live in. Black America, you know, we either can live together as brothers and sisters or perish together as fools. The choice is ours. So I'm Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the Artivist. My YouTube channel is WeAllBeTV. We're known for getting cursed out by Dick Gregory and interviewing Judge Joe Brown and Dr. Randy Shorts, and also taking back the narrative, putting our own spin on our narrative, because if you don't tell your story, you'll never get any glory. If you don't tell your stories, you won't, neither you or your ancestors will get their glory. So I'm the founder of WeAllBeTV or WeAllBe News, and also I'm the founder of the WeAllBe Group Incorporated, which is a nonprofit 501c3 where we do cultural preservation and awareness and taking control of our Black narrative and enriching people with our people of knowledge of self. So that's very important. And so I mean, I'm in Memphis right now. I'm right across the street where they shot Dr. King in the face. That's where I live. Also, this is the epicenter of the Memphis Race Massacre of 1866, which was started by police brutality. All major riots and massacres in this country were not started by Black people, but police misconduct or some type of form of police brutality. So I'm right across the street from that. That, you know, it led to the pillaging and burning of Black churches and schools. Our Black schools and churches have never been protected in this country. You know, June 15th was June 17th rather was the 6-year anniversary of the Mother Emanuel shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. Right. So also we got you know, the Memphis Race Massacre is entry. It led to Congress passing what is now known as the Reconstruction Act. And that led to a 10-year Black excellence prosperity in this country that was shortchanged by the Great Compromise of 1876. Whatever what the Republicans say, we want to keep the White House and we'll let the Democrats run the country. We'll rescind the troops from the South, thus ending Reconstruction. So Black folks, we never had a snowball chance in hell when it comes to this just us system. And Bill Cosby is like a lynching victim. Rather, he is a lynching victim because majority of the Black folks who were lynched were business people. Bill Cosby was a businessman. He was an entrepreneur. He was a man of the people. He invested in his people and their institutions. And for all that trouble, he got a poor return on his investment. And that's a damn shame. Because, like, you know, we're about to celebrate or acknowledge the birth of this country with the 4th of July and or 4th of July. And the first martyr of the
Wait a minute now. You don't Dr. Randy Short on us. You said the 4th of July?
Oh, you lied. I said the 4th of July. Yeah, you lied. Y'all lied, man.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, we go, but you know, but the first person to die for this republic was a Black man named Christmas Addicts, and he was a victim of police brutality. And you fast forward to 2021, we're dealing with 2020, 2021, George Floyd, the so-called George Floyd riots. I mean, George Floyd was a victim of police brutality, right? Christmas Addicts was a victim of police brutality. A lot of our people have been victims of police brutality, but we are always getting lynched by the system. So on July the 16th, I know I'm just going all over the place saying, like, Ivy Wells' birthday, July 16th, she started her media career, her journalism career. She's the mother of investigative journalism, as far as I'm concerned, in America. She started her thing on Beale Street. She had a newspaper office on Beale Street. And they ran her out the South for telling the truth about the real nature of lynchings and whatnot. Because what happened, we're going to unveil her statue on her birthday on Beale Street near where she had a newspaper office. You got to think about it. Ivy Wells was born into slavery. Yet, by the time she's a young woman, she's owning her own newspaper office, let alone she's a journalist, which is rare. She's a Black and a woman on her own newspaper or media organization. And I want people to understand this. Every great Black giant or activist or whatever we had knew that they had to control their story by some type of means. All our great ones, great so-called Black leaders, had access to a media organization. They started their own media organization, whether it be Frederick Douglass with the North Star. You got the Freedom Journal. You got David Walker's The Appeal. You got Malcolm X with Muhammad Speaks. You got Marcus Garvey with the Negro World. All our great Black ones knew they had to control their media, to control their story, to control their narrative, to get a certain perspective out there, to counter the BS official story, which is always the official lie. You know, so she did that. And why I bring her up, because the reason why she started telling the truth about lynchings was because one of her best friends, Thomas Mouse, who's a very prosperous business owner, he owned a grocery business called the People's Grocery Store, what is now known as South Memphis. He was a victim of white supremacy and racism, victim of a targeted lynching. Him and his business associates, Calvin McDowell and William Henry Stewart. I don't know why I know these people's names, but
that's good, right?
It happened on March the 9th, 1892. It's called the People's Grocery Lynchings, or the lynching at the curb. And the only reason why they was lynched because they were successful grocery men. They had a successful grocery business that was in direct competition with the white business owner across the street. What the white man did, because they not only got clientele from the black community, but they got clientele from people of all colors and races and creeds. And Thomas Moss was a mailman. Back then, to be a postal worker was to be like a high elite job in the black community because you controlled the mail. It was a very prominent job. So Thomas Moss was a postmaster somewhat, and also he was a leader of the black community in Memphis. And Ivy Wells was the godmother to his daughter. And so what happened was one night they got into a shootout with this white mob that tried to destroy their business. So you had black men who were armed. They stood up for themselves. They exercised their right to exist. They exercised their manhood. And unfortunately for them, they shot into the crowd, not realizing some of the lynch mob people were police officers. So black folks, this is where our downfall is. We believe in law more than they do. We believe in their constitution more than they do. So that's the problem. So they turn themselves in. Oh man, these people try to blow up our business and shoot us and kill us, but they were cops. So they, even though they're in the lynch mob, we're gonna turn ourselves into the mob, right? So they got kidnapped from the jail, right? And they got took into Uptown, what is now known as North Memphis by the railroad track. And you had the white newspapers. Some of these newspaper organizations still exist to this day. So this is what I'm telling you. You had the newspaper guys witnessing an illegal act. They're reporting on. They're not trying to intercede and stop the white folks from killing these innocent black men. So all of them were lynched, horribly disfigured one by one. Thomas Moss was the last person. He pleaded for his life. He said, look, I got a child on the way. I have a young family. Can you please let me live? They said, no, we got to kill you. You know what? So he said, you know, they asked me, he had any last words. He said, yeah, tell my people to go west because they cannot get any justice here. So they just went on lynch and disfigure him horribly beyond recognition like his other friends, all because they was a successful black businessman. And I'm making this point to say that most of the black victims of lynchings were successful business people and landowners. They weren't criminals and thugs and degenerates. They were the elites of black society. So Ivy Wells was heartbroken, needless to say. She printed his last words in her newspaper, The Free Speech and Headlight. She encouraged black folks to leave Memphis, and black folks left Memphis by the thousands. About 6,000 black people left Memphis. They went west, and a lot of them ended up settling in Oklahoma Indian Territory in Black Wall Street. One of the founders of Black Wall Street, O.W. Gurley, he was a grocer himself. And guess what was the name of his grocery store?
What?
The People's Grocery Store. So I don't know if there's a movement, because there's so many stories that there, like when we talk about Black Wall Street, we don't talk about the whole truth of it. There's too many narratives for it to be an official narrative on what really went down and what does it mean. Because like I told you, they had the first grocery store in Tulsa and Greenwood, and Black Wall Street or Negro Wall Street was the People's Grocery Store. So I don't know if there was a movement behind, like there was a secret society. I don't know what they were doing with these People's Grocery Stores. It was a franchise. What was really going on with that movement? Because O.G. Gurley is from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, which is not that far from Memphis. It's close, you know, it's not that far away from Memphis. I don't know what it is about the People's Grocery Store, but I'm saying all this to say in a roundabout way, getting back to Bill Cosby. Because Bill Cosby was an entrepreneur. He was a successful businessman. He wanted to buy his own network. And people say that's an urban legend. That's not an urban legend. They got New York Times articles from like October 29th, 1992. They talk about how he tried to buy NBC from General Electric.
Okay, yeah, so let's get to the bottom of this NBC thing, because some people say it's a mill, some people like, oh, here y'all.
That's real. It happened.
Y'all hotels with y'all theories.
It's real.
Okay, that's real. So Bill Cosby really did want to buy NBC.
He tried to. He had a group organized in 92. He tried to do it in 2011. He tried to do it several times. And they kept on telling him no, but he was insistent on trying to buy this. And they said enough was enough. Even in 2014, he still was trying to do some network business. Like Bill Cosby was we call it irrelevant and burnt out. He was still a hot commodity even after the first accusations came out. In 2014, he had a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix. He had a sold-out comedy tour. This man was on top of the world. He was thinking about doing a sitcom comeback.
Oh, he sure was
trying to buy a network.
Yes, he was working with Ron from The Different World on that, I believe.
Okay, there you go. So I'm saying he was still trying to do it. This is after he lost his son under questionable circumstances on the 405 in L.A. They probably killed him because he was trying to buy the network, you know, back then. And I'm gonna tell you something. What they do, they don't only kill you and target you, they kill your legacies. Like you look at Kobe Bryant, they didn't just kill Kobe Bryant, they killed his daughter who was gonna be his basketball legacy. So that's why you know it was a hit.
Well, you
But you can't prove it. Okay.
See, now you messing some folks up by saying Kobe Bryant stuff was not.
They murdered him. He was murdered.
It you know what's crazy is with the conspiracy theory, there was a cartoon that showed him dying in a helicopter. Now it was known that he flew helicopters, but it just coincidental. It's like the Simpsons effect. How do they know what's happening? Like what's gonna happen?
They're part of. It's a thing called Operation Mockingbird. Look up Operation Mockingbird, where it's U.S. intelligence controls the media. A lot of these people that create these shows got U.S. intelligence backgrounds. If you look at 60 Minutes, their top media consultants are CIA. It was a dude that was a top journalist at 60 Minutes. I ain't gonna never forget this. This happened maybe several years ago. He was killed in this horrific car accident, but he was working on a very major story at the time of his death. He probably was killed. It's like the guy named Michael Hastings, the journalist. You remember him, Michael Hastings? He exposed that General McChrystal over there in Afghanistan, I believe. And the next thing you know, he driving high speed down a LA street and he explodes. And try he killed the man's car. It just went a high speed and he exploded. Now, Baba Dick Gregory said Michael Hastings.
Yeah, was an American journalist, author, contributing editor to Rolling Stone and reporter to BuzzFeed.
Right.
Yeah, he did
amazing.
Yeah. In an ambush. Okay, so since he said that he done dropped a bomb on y'all, he said Kobe Bryant was actually murdered. And
allegedly. I'm saying that.
If something happened to me and Run, I just want y'all to know we did this for the people, baby.
Yeah, ain't gonna nothing happen. Dick Gregory learned when somebody give you a secret, you don't make it a secret no more. That's how you protect yourself. Because what's the point of killing you? I give you all the information. For
y'all people who may not know who Ron is, he's one of those guys who interviewed Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory kept cursing at him. Like, what you mean? Shut your mouth, boy. Like, great interview, Ron.
I took it for the team because really he was frustrated at the people because we'll get into that, the sacrifices he made. He lost his best friends before they turned 40. Like Medgar Evers was a guy that got him in. I visited Arlington Cemetery before I left. Medgar's birthday is coming up July the 2nd. More people know about Meg the Stallion than they do about Medgar Evers. And he was more important to the culture. No disrespect to Meg the Mayor. I mean Meg the Stallion.
Yeah, no disrespect. But you know what? One other thing I get sick of doing in this generation. Before we get in somebody's ass, we gotta say, they're not a bad person. I just want to get your ass. I don't want to tell you why I like you and then dish you. This whole be safe, don't talk about nobody, everybody's sensitive. I mean, I saw a bunch of anchors. I'm not gonna say which station. They wanted to discuss something somebody said, but they had to lick the person's ass first, to the point where the things that you criticizing them on, it's like it don't even matter because you had to kiss their ass first. You got to tell them, no, we think something's wrong with you. You're not doing it right. We're going to start back going like that and just get glad.
We got to balance it out now. Let's take no prisoners time because, like I said, what Dr. King says, the fierce urgency of now. But Michael Hastings allegedly was killed by a drone, allegedly. But he exposed some high-ups in the military industry complex like McChrystal. Cost him his job. And that cost him his life, Michael Hastings. And he actually lost his first wife overseas. She was a journalist, got killed in action. It's dangerous to be a journalist. Whether you're on the front lines or even in your bedroom, it is dangerous to be a journalist right now and a truth teller. It's always been like that.
It's always been dangerous for me. I've been telling the truth since 1980-something.
Right.
I used to go to school and fight for this stuff. So it's in some people just to fight. You just born with it, or you get into it. And then some people they turn into coons, or they put their nuts between their legs and they walk. And fortunately enough, I didn't come from people that, well, not everybody doesn't do that, but most of the people that I've been close with, they stand for something. I just want to hit that Kobe Bryant real quick.
Okay.
Before his death, he was working on a lot of good projects, gonna help the community and do all sorts of things, and I heard he was starting to invest in things, and I can't remember the big thing that he was getting into, like a warning sign to why somebody would want to murder him. But maybe I can't remember off the top of my head.
He was due in court that following week before he got killed. He was due in court. He was facing, challenging a pharmaceutical giant for trademark or copyright infringement about the use of the name Black Mamba.
Mm-hmm.
So you had this pharmaceutical company that was using the Black Mamba name to promote a line of whatever supplements or something. And he was challenging them for the rights to that name in court. He was due in court that following week. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But there's a couple of things, like even with Kobe, maybe he was getting involved in women's basketball, or they said, some people say he wanted to start a league over in China, a competing basketball league that was independent of the NBA. He had his hands in a lot of different baskets. You know what I'm saying? Like one of his business partners in his venture capitalism firm, I believe, was on the same board of directors as Jeffrey Epstein. So he was moving in those type of circles. Kobe was making a lot of different moves. So that means he was making a lot of powerful enemies. So you don't know who really killed him, but I do know this: that phenomenon known as predictive programming is real, and that U.S. intelligence controls our media, and that, the military industry complex also put a lot of money into Hollyweird to control the scripts and to create these movies. It's a good movie called Wag the Dog that came out in the late 1990s. It stars Dustin Hoffman as a Hollywood producer, and also Robert De Niro as a fixer for the White House. And the thing is that the White House hires Dustin Hoffman to create a fake war to get the country mind off the sex scandal in the White House. This came out right around the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Gates thing. And so who's to say, like, people believe that the moon landing was faked in '69, that the great director Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing in the studio.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
For a long time.
Huh?
I've heard that one for a long time.
Yeah. Why it take us so long? We should have moon cities and stuff. Why we don't have any moon colonies if we landed on the moon in '69? I'm just saying.
Well, they going to Mars now. You got Elon Musk and the Amazon guy.
Yeah, that's weird too.
All his brother to fly out with them like they going on vacation. So
yeah, all that's strange. But you got to ask yourself. Dick Gregory said, "What happened to the missing black men?" Like, man, it's so much stuff going on. Like this past, was it June the 29th marked the 30-year anniversary of the death of a brother named Fred Hims. You ever heard of him?
Freddie Hims.
Freddie Hims. H-E-L.
I'm gonna look him up right now.
Yeah, Freddie Hims, H-E-L-M-S. Because this is why you got to tell our stories. People believe that Rodney King was the only person in that car that night he got beat up by the LAPD back in March of '91. He had two other passengers in the car with him. One of them was a guy named Freddie Hims.
He was a key witness.
Yeah, he was 20 years young. Yeah.
As a passenger of the car driven by Rodney on that fatal March the 3rd, 1991 evening when police pulled their car over before those controversial beatings by the LAPD. Okay.
Right. So he was beat up himself, and he was the key witness, right? Then 3 months later, he died in a horrific car accident. He was thrown out of the car after the driver of the car hit a telephone pole at a high speed, and he was dead at the hospital. He was just 20 years young. So he witnessed that and got involved in March of '91. By almost the end of June of '91, he was dead at 20. And he was the key witness for Rodney King's people. Because even some of the cops corroborated that he got beat up.
I was young when that happened, but I don't remember hearing anything about anybody else.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So who telling these stories, who writing these scripts? They don't want you to know about that. It's like even with the Boston John thing, where the key witness Joshua Brown was killed in a suspect drug transaction. It really was a professional hit. The brother who testified on behalf of Boston John, and then the judge chastised him, but she hugged Amber Geiger. And Boston John, or Gene, whatever his name was, his brother hugged the guy or the woman who killed his brother. But this guy told the truth on the stand, and he was chastised by the judge. Next thing you know, he dead under suspect circumstances. This is a young black man who was an entrepreneur and a father.
I remember that, the neighbor who testified.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
God.
got
Yeah,
killed. They tried to say it was a drug transaction. That was a professional hit
yeah, and
for doing the right thing.
nobody
Allegedly.
ever questions it. Like they question it for 2 days and then it's gone.
And we got a short memory of our people. Man, it's so much shit. I'm in a nightmare every day I wake. It was like damn, I'm in some type of weird Twilight Zone episode. Every day I wake up, it's like, why do people don't know this? I've been knowing about Tulsa for half my life. You know, Bill Cosby produced a documentary about the Tulsa Race Massacre back in the early 2000s or late 19. I don't know. It's like I think the early 2000s. It came out on HBO. Bill Cosby did so much for the culture. I remember when I was in college 20 years ago, Bill Cosby was the first celebrity to boycott Cincinnati. When Cincinnati had all those incidents where they were killing black men via the police, Bill Cosby refused to do a show or anything to make money for Cincinnati. He was the first celebrity I can remember that boycotted Cincinnati for police brutality, but people talk about 3 or 4 years later, the damn pound cake speech. Bill Cosby did so much for the culture, it's ridiculous, and yet it was a poor return on his investment. All the millions of dollars he gave to institutions, they revoked honorary doctorates and stuff. These folks turned their backs on them. You got these comedians not realizing that he's one of the pioneers to make sure they get those contracts from the major networks and stuff. They turned their backs on him. This is BS. He deserved better, but you know why? The people that love us, that serve us, we hate them. Medgar Evers, when he was alive, was hated by a lot of black folks down in Jackson. His wife used to talk about how black folks would go out their way. When they saw Medgar Evers walking down the street, they would walk to the other side. They would not acknowledge Medgar Evers. So when she said when he got shot, she was madder at the black folks that screwed him over in life than she was at the white folks that took his life. Man was just 37 years old.
I'm telling you, and whenever I try to tell black people, like it's not any racist stuff. It's like when white people folks get in trouble, they stick by them.
They got a code. Shit, they got a real code.
You had every black person, like a lot of black people, beat Bill Cosby up now, and I'm a woman and I don't play about race. Don't get me wrong, but the history of black people, they lie on our people. They lie on our icons. You're not gonna question it. You're not gonna want to look into it. I don't understand black people who go, they jump right onto this white woman feminist crap. That's what I call it. When the white woman been raped, when niggas, oops, Instagram, I'm sorry, I still thought I was.
You said the A, right? Like A, not ER,
yeah,
but the A.
Yeah, but when Negroes get raped, which we've been getting raped since over 400, 500 years, nothing happens. I still, if we can keep going back for these cases, I want some of these families who parents and grandparents and great grandparents were slave owners. Won't they get on the stand and talk about how their family raped all these people? And people want to say that's something different, but no, the hell it's not.
That's right.
What is the time? What is the time? I don't know the lawyer word, but what is the time? What's that word they use? Where's the cutoff for the time?
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations.
Stuff is old.
All right.
Yeah. So it does pain me that if somebody got raped and everything, but in a big scheme of things, who's been raped? People say it's not a competition, but damn it, we've been raped the whole damn life, still getting raped. Raped just sitting here.
Basically, I mean, we're the most bullied group of people on the planet, and no, in America, most definitely, black people are bullied more by anybody.
But yeah, black people, just like Dr. Short said, always jumping to defend somebody else, and then they got a nerve. Like if you say, "Won't you stand up for your brother?" Why I gotta be like that? Why I gotta now black folks want to be what you call it, kumbaya. But when we was getting our ass beat, wasn't nobody kumbaya for us. But see, people want to take a person like me and say, well, Kera, you act like Michael Metz. Oh, Kera, you doing too much. No, I ain't doing enough. Because you know what? People who talk like me back then, they got lynched. They got beat. They got told, hey, step in this hot boiling water till your skin held off while you still alive.
Yep.
They got their family separated. don't even know who we are. Like, yeah, we don't made us alike being African Americans and whatnot, and not even African Americans, but black people. ADOS. Some of us was already here, but
That's true.
they don't took everything away from us, and yet y'all think I'm not gonna question these allegations on Bill Cosby? You can kiss my ass. Got people talking about, well, Me Too, and I can't. He ain't the same person as the TV show. But what's that white director sleeping with, had a little girl, Asian daughter that he adopted?
Woody Allen.
And then now he gonna marry her. Like, how inappropriate is that? Elvis sleeping with young girls, but yet they can listen to the music. The father from Seventh Heaven doing perverted things on children, not even grown adults, children.
Right.
And they never took Seventh Heavens off TV. People want to say, well, it's not apple and oranges. Well, what the hell is it? Because y'all Negroes love singing Kumbaya when it got something to do with us. But y'all don't care about nobody else standing in our corner. I really get sick of black people being ignorant and stupid. Hell, I'm about to the next Bill Cosby. Y'all can get pissed at me. Shit.
I mean, I hear you. You said a lot of truth right there. Righteous anger.
And I'm not even angry, man, because when you've been woke since woke been woke, hell, I was woke before they even made the turn. Hell, I was born woke. God already put this on me. And R.I.P. Shout out to Paul Mooney and his family, because we ain't got another one like him. Shout out to Lunell, because she said she was going to step up. But we losing truth. We losing people who tell the truth. Paul Mooney, he told Joseph he was out there giving us the truth. Y'all can start throwing them hearts back up there, because I'm still preaching. Throw me some hearts back up there in that line, boy.
Yeah, you sure know preaching.
This shit real. They throwing everything at us to kill us. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead, man. I'm just going.
No, I'm listening. I'm taking it in because
we can't ever tell the truth. We always got something to think about. Oh, you can't tell the truth because you won't get a job. Oh, you can't tell the truth because you're gonna get beat by the police. Oh, you can't tell the truth because you won't have none. Well, shit.
I mean, truth telling is a revolutionary act in a time of deceit. I think George Orwell or somebody said it doesn't make a difference, but to tell the truth, you pay a price. There's a tax on everything. There's no such thing as a free meal, a free lunch, or anything free. There's a tax. A lot of times there's a hidden tax. And the thing about it is alienation. Like, you are alienated. It's a lonely existence to be a truth teller because people can't handle the truth. Like Jack Nicholson said in A Few Good Men, that's the truth.
You can't tell the
truth. Yeah. You got to heighten contradictions. The way you teach critical thinking, that you heighten the contradictions. Like, there's a lot of things that's kind of weird. There's a lot of things that's weird. How can we all be free when a lot of us are we're not allowed to be ourselves? To be yourself is a dangerous act because it's to practice truth. To be oneself is to be honest and authentic and to be truthful. But we're living in a time of great deceit. And our people, I don't know what's going to take. There has not really been an improvement. We're going ass backwards because we got to get on code as a group as well as individuals. And we really don't know what that means. We say it sounds nice to be on code, but white folks know what it means. It means self-preservation, putting your people first before anybody else, taking care of your home before you take care of anybody else's home, cleaning up and straightening up your home before you can do that for anybody else. Black folks have been trained to put everybody else first before ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're losing.
People out here making black women and black men more divided
that's by design,
by pushing a stupid narrative. Yeah, we got to work on women and we got to work on men, but not to the point of tearing us apart. Okay, so everybody got to wake up. And I want to tell you this too, because it's been on my mind. A savior and freedom does not come for free.
Yeah.
Okay? Even God said you got to believe in his son. I don't know what religion you are, but every religion got at least one thing you definitely got to go by. Nothing's for free. Okay? And our freedom is not for free. It never has been and never will be. Hell, you ain't even free now. You just living in a a semi-comfortable jail cell.
Right. You're right. You're
Because
right.
you can't even tell somebody who think they a horse. You can't even say, ma'am, you're not a horse. You a woman.
That's right.
You won't get in trouble for saying that today. You think that if you can't say what's real, you think that's freedom? I mean, I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of scary ass people. If we want right, we can't keep depending on people winking at us and smiling. You got voices. Those of us who are in have legal careers, they gotta fight. Thank all the lobbyists who fight on our behalf that we don't even know about. I don't care what kind of job you do. You can stand up. You know those moments at work when they trying to gang up on another black individual. Right. Sometimes step up. I mean, I know we all got our own job to look for, and we worried about that a lot. But sometimes just do something different.
Yeah.
Do something different. Freedom ain't gonna be free. Like, you gotta if y'all worried about life and death, you already failing. You gotta find something in this life that you willing to die for. If you ain't found a fight in you, you ain't living.
That's true.
The only way I'm able to do some of the things I'm doing is because I believe that I can do them. And you know what I realized the other day? And I'm going to make a whole video about it. The devil is a liar.
Okay.
And God is real. Now, when I say the devil is a liar, you heard that a million times. And I heard it the other day. It was like the first time I heard it. Because what I realized is that people focus too much on God with the negative. But how about if you just give God the praise for everything that's good in your life? Because see what the devil has done, he has lied to us. He has told Negroes, y'all have made it. He has told y'all don't need a fight. Y'all keep your eyes closed. Everything okay. Kamala got you. Joe Biden got you. The devil is a lie.
That's right.
Okay? He gonna tell you, he gonna say, you don't need no black man. You don't need no black woman. Disrespect your mama. Disrespect your daddy. He gonna tell you all that. But it's not true. So back to what we talking about. Well, people don't lie to me my whole life. If people don't lie to me before I even was born, if they don't lie to my mother, to my father, to his mama, to my mama's mama, to my mama's mama, to my mama, then why would I take anything off of face value from that lineage of people? And yet we still got some people out there that are called me racist or you racist. Because you ain't gonna pick in our face and call it rain. That's an old Southern thing, right there.
Right.
But let me let you get it, because people may say I'm ranting, but I'm giving y'all. You just gotta get hip to it.
I think you're making some very valid points. We all got to be heard. And my thing about it is, I'm thinking about, we are always our strongest. We understand the Trinity is the black man, woman, and child. The black family is how you get things done. I'll give you two examples very quick. If you go back to the World War II, the military industry complex, they had women working in the factories. There's places in Detroit where they had black women working with white women, but the black women were getting disrespected. Like the white woman could eat in the cafeteria, they had the black women eating in the restrooms, and they paid the black women less than the white women. Right. And so when they got rid of the black women, the black men stood up and said, "No, you ain't gonna mistreat our sisters. Y'all gonna have to hire them back." And they hired them back, gave them comfortable pay with the white, women. They were allowed to eat in the cafeterias after the brothers stood up for them. Say, "You ain't gonna disrespect our queens." Going to the Montgomery bus boycott, you had a situation in Alabama and Montgomery where the white men were abusing their power. They were raping women, black women, they were white bus drivers and white police officers raping black women. It was a famous case, sister named Reese Taylor. She was walking home from church. It's in Alabama, outside of Montgomery, walking home from church with her best friend and her best friend's son. She was kidnapped and gang raped by, I think, six to seven white men.
Wow.
And I mean, some of them confessed to raping this woman. They raped her so bad they destroyed her womb. She had a young daughter. Then the press was trying to label her as a whore, as a prostitute. She's coming home from church. She's walking from church, going home to her husband and her young daughter. And they trying to say, well, she was a whore. She was a prostitute. And what happened, Rosa Parks got involved with the case, and he became a call celeb. This is like in 44. The Montgomery bus boycott was 55, but that was the template for what was to come. Because Rosa Parks was the secretary for the NAACP down in Montgomery, but she went herself to investigate what happened to Reese Taylor. And it's unfortunate. I mean, this woman lived to almost be 100 years old. She just died not too long ago. And there's a documentary called The Rape of Reese Taylor. And this woman, I mean, it had a lot of tragedy. Her daughter ended up dying in a car crash at a relatively young age. So she had a lot of tragedy in her life, but she lived for almost a century. And the state of Alabama issued an apology, but the best thing they could have done was to prosecute these folks through all the letters of the law, as they say, whatever they say, because they never was held accountable for raping this black woman, for violating her rights and space. But the black woman body has always not been the property of hers in this country. Y'all always been violated. Like, even look at in the name of science, you got a person named J. Marion Sims, who they say is the father of gynecology, but he was ripping up black women's wombs and turning up their children without anesthesia. They had a statue of him in Brooklyn for years.
Where am I?
J. Marion Sims. He's from South Carolina.
No, I'm talking about it was a black woman who had a big behind, and they.
Oh yeah, you talking about? I know you talking about the Hot and Top Venus, Sarah Bartman from Southern Africa. Hot and Top Venus. They had a genitalia on display in France for years, and they finally sent her remains back to Africa.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I thought her name was something else, but she was definitely somebody that, you know, black women used to get talked about having a big ass, but now a big ass
right.
is good as paid for now. And then Henrietta Lacks.
Yeah. Baltimore, John Hopkins.
Sales stuff. What was that?
Because she died at 29. They took her cells, and her family to this day, from my understanding, still don't have health insurance. So her descendants still don't have health insurance. And yet the lady who wrote the book named Rebecca Skloot used to be a writing professor at the University of Memphis. So this white girl wrote this book, got made into a movie about Oprah, starring Oprah, and her family still don't have health insurance. So everybody made money off this legacy except for the family. This woman has immortal cells, but she died at the age of 29. It's like, it's so much stuff that's been done to black women. Like, I'm a big fan of Fannie Lou Hamer. She was the last of 20 children of her family, of her husband, of her mother and father. Her folks had 20 kids just to get a Fannie Lou Hamer. They had to have 19 kids before they got a Fannie Lou Hamer. That's how powerful she was. But the state of Mississippi sterilized her without her consent, so she could never have biological children. They took that right away from her without her consent. One of our greatest freedom fighters. Yeah, you got so many stories like that, though.
You got me over here feeling like Ida B. Wells, boy.
Oh, yeah, okay, you might be Ida B. You know, that's my Black History dream girl. If I could bring her back, I would bring her back, a handful of them sisters.
I feel so embarrassed that I haven't read more into her, but after talking about her, I'm definitely going to start, digging more into her life.
Now, she wrote diaries. She got the Memphis Diary she did that was edited by my friends, Dr. Marion DeCosta Willis, who just passed away recently. She was actually a participant in the Montgomery bus boycott, if I'm not. I'm talking about the woman who edited her diary. So she got works, her autobiography. There's a lot of stuff in her own words. You go on to the Gutenberg project and look at some of her lynching, we call that. She wrote those pamphlets, lynching pamphlets back in the day. I mean, she was ahead of her time. Ida B. Wells was an amazing woman. Ida B. Wells Barnett.
She was. And you know what? For the people who just joined us, you done missed a lot. And we got a lot more to talk about. First of all, we talked about Bill Cosby, which we're not done. Also, Bryant's death actually being a murder. Well, did you say a murder?
Oh, yeah, he was killed. But the thing about that, I'm going to see about Kobe, right? Kobe was into the occult. He was like, look at some of his stuff, the dark arts. I ain't scared. Look, America is built on occult energy. I'm going to give you a quick example. This guy, you ever heard of this guy named Jack Parsons?
Yes.
You know, he's the father of the American space program. But what they do not talk about, it was that he was into the dark arts. Even when he was a kid, he was trying to open up like portals and wormholes and summon demons and shit. And then when he got older, he would go out into the California desert to have orgies, have these large-scale orgies to try to summon demons. And he was trying to do the Rosemary baby, the Antichrist found a woman to have an Antichrist baby with. But he was close friends with L. Ron Hubbard, the father of Scientology, one of the most prolific science fiction writers of the 20th century. So it would be easy for him to create a religion, right? Also led your naval intelligence. And that's, you know, shit, you got Charles Manson say he was CIA. That's another story altogether. It's interesting. But Jack Parsons got killed under suspect circumstances on June the 17th, 1952. He also was a disciple of Aleister Crowley. You familiar with Aleister Crowley?
Yes, yes.
Like, you know, he believed in sex magic. So that was like Jack Parsons was doing. He was doing sex magic. It was like using sex to manifest things. So they actually was using sex.
KKK, correct?
Huh?
The Crowley guy was a big KKK member, right?
Now, he was out of England. Actually, they claim that Barbara Bush, George W. Bush's mom, is a love child of Aleister Crowley. If you look at Barbara Bush, a picture of her, because her mom went over to Europe and she got into a relationship with Aleister Crowley. And so people say that Barbara Bush is the mother of George W. Bush and the wife of George H.W. Bush, that she was the love child of Aleister Crowley. That's the rumor.
Child.
So that stuff is deep. I mean, that stuff, that close stuff is deep. But Jack Parsons he got killed in an explosion in his garage, allegedly mixing chemicals. But by that time, he made a lot of powerful enemies. He was just 38 years young when he got killed, somewhere around that age. But y'all should look up Jack Parsons. And also, you got Laurel Canyon. Are you familiar with Laurel Canyon out of L.A.?
No.
A lot of the groups like Jim Morrison of the Doors, he's from Laurel Canyon. Frank Zappa. Okay. So this thing was like, you talking about predictive programming, like you talking about how the culture knew that Kobe was going to die in a plane crash. They have places like this around the country where it's an incubator for certain type of talents to be used to manipulate and control the masses. I got to talk about Dick Gregory on this because, you know, documentary's coming out on Showtime July the 4th. I saw the documentary at Tribeca. It was good, but it's so much stuff that Dick Gregory is crazy. But Dick Gregory...
Wait. What are you saying? What movie's coming out?
It's coming out on the 4th of July on Showtime. The one and only Dick Gregory, a documentary about the life of Dick Gregory, but it's just under 2 hours. But it's really, the people that never heard of Dick Gregory, when you see that documentary, you're going to say, how the hell did one person did all this stuff they say he did? Because there's so much stuff they left out, man. This man is just amazing. That's why I didn't mind getting cursed out by him. Because it was respect. He was like a drill sergeant. He knew he had to prepare certain people for what was coming, because he knew his ass was going to check out of here when it was really getting good. He always say, get your popcorn ready, because playtime is over. Recess is over. This shit is over. This is done. It's a wrap. It's over. But give us what you want to tell us about that. Well, I want to talk about Yoko Ono and John Lennon. John Lennon, the founder of the Beatles, right? John Lennon called Dick Gregory to Europe to cure him to detox him from drugs. Dick Gregory went to a cave. They had a cave mansion. They had a mansion that was in a cave. It was like, you know, these are weird, you know, rock and roll type of people. So they summoned Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory detoxed Yoko Ono and John Lennon. John Lennon was inspired to write the song Imagine because Dick Gregory gave him a prayer book that inspired him to write that song. Dick Gregory got him off of drugs for good. That was Yoko Ono told him that after you came and saved us, we was off of drugs for good. There is a Jet magazine cover with Dick Gregory with Yoko Ono and John Lennon during that time period. John Lennon told Dick Gregory that, look, we was created, the Beatles, to get young American youth hooked on drugs. Wow. Listen to their songs. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is LSD. Hey Jude is about heroin. Y'all think it's just about, you know, it's catchy songs. Now, these songs were created to get the American youth hooked on drugs. The LSD was created by the American government. All this stuff was created by our government to undermine the American population. You gotta think about the year that the Beatles made their debut in America was 64. What happened in 1963? At the end, towards the end, can you recall what happened? There was a major game-changing event in America and the world. What happened on November 22nd, 1963?
November 22nd,
Right.
1953. And Kara pretends to think about what did she think that day
Uh,
meant.
Okay, with JFK got shot.
Oh, my boy JFK. Okay,
yeah.
yep.
And so they was coming out with the Warren Commission because a lot of people didn't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. They believed it was a conspiracy.
Right.
So what they did, they brought the Beatles over here allegedly to start getting the folks hooked on drugs and the music. And the Beatles, from my understanding, was a product of this institute over in England called the Tavistock Institute. Y'all should look that up because that was the birthplace of what we know as the MK Ultra program, the Manchurian Candidates, the Monarch program, MK Ultra sex kittens. This stuff is really deep. So John Lennon confessed to Dick Gregory we was used to hook young people on drugs. But John Lennon got involved in the anti-war movement. The government attacked John Lennon, and then they assassinated, allegedly, John Lennon. They said it was Mark David Chapman, but I'm going to tell you something. The head detective on the case said this was the perfect crime. They said this dude waited for us like he was waiting for us to come arrest him. Mark David Chapman, if he did actually kill John Lennon, could have got away with it easily. But he waited for them. And like the detective said, like he was under a trance. See, the doorman at the Dakota where John Lennon lived was a Cuban national who was a CIA assassin. You look all that up. So probably the doorman actually killed John Lennon allegedly, and Mark David Chapman was a patsy. But he was controlled. He was on the MK Ultra control. Because like people try to figure out he was from Hawaii. How could this dude afford to stay at these this 5-star hotels around the world? He was like traveling around the world with no means of support. He was an asset. He was a patsy, allegedly. So I want people to understand, like Jimi Hendrix. This is Black Music Month. I just be overwhelmed with shit. But anyway, I don't mean to curse. But Jimi Hendrix manager, right? Because people think that Jimi Hendrix died. He choked out. They murdered Jimi Hendrix. Mm-hmm. His manager was Mike Jeffrey. Mike Jeffrey was British intelligence. Mike Jeffrey was over his estate. Mike Jeffries allegedly died in an airplane crash back in the 70s, but they never recovered his body.
Of course they didn't.
But you know what, Jimi Hendrix, people don't understand, Jimi Hendrix was a big supporter financially of the Black Panther Party. He put a lot of money into the Black Panther Party. And he was getting too political towards the end. So they knocked him off.
And they tried to just feed us that he was just on drugs, and that was
he wasn't no drug. I know people that knew Hendrix. They said that Hendrix was the type of dude, he wanted to experiment. He said, let me do some heroin, and I could screw 5 women at one time. He was well endowed, according to the women. Very well endowed. So he'll do stuff like that for the experience. He wasn't hooked on drugs like that. That's the popular opinion. But they actually murdered him on the way to the hospital. And now he had a girl that was there at the time, his girlfriend allegedly, and she allegedly committed suicide not too long ago, supposedly. I don't know. I'm just doing all these allegedly, but the stuff is deep. Now, like, you just think like Dick Gregory, right? Getting back to Dick Gregory, I'll let you. Dick Gregory was targeted by J. Hoover. J. Hoover wanted his Chicago offices to use the Chicago mob to eliminate Dick Gregory. This man's a comedian. What's the threat? This had come out in newspapers. People said it's conspiracy. Yeah, it's conspiracy. Because they actually were conspiring to kill Dick Gregory. This before Fred Hampton. Dick Gregory ran for the mayor of Chicago. Mayor Daley, Gangster Daley, saw Dick Gregory as a threat. He ran for president of the United States back in '68. He allegedly got 9 million votes from Pennsylvania, and they took him back. This came out in the Wall Street Journal. People don't, this didn't exist. I said, Bill Cosby did try to buy NBC. I met one of his partners, Ed Weinberger, who helped create the Cosby Show. I met him at Dick Gregory's funeral. Yeah, they were trying to buy a network. Y'all don't think that this is an urban legend. This is not reality.
That's what I want to get back to, because you said Kobe Bryant was
murdered.
Wait, what's going on?
Huh?
What you laughing about?
He can't prove this shit. It's like, you remember Training Day when Alonzo Harris, Denzel Curry, ain't what you know is what you can prove. You can't prove this shit, but it happened. It happened.
It was people at the scene that said that they saw the airplane blow up and not hit anything. So
yeah, they blew it up.
And like it was kids and other people, and they just kind of quiet that part of the story.
Like Michael Hastings, the journalist, they say he crashed and burned. Now Dick said it was a drone. Dick Gregory said it was a laser that killed Michael Jackson. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all, there's something. We want guns. Guns ain't the problem. It's psychopaths that's the problem. The guns ain't the problem. You can kill people with a plastic fork. You can fire to somebody's face and kill them allegedly. I don't know, but I'm saying they had heart attack guns. Look up heart attack guns. They had this out since the late 40s and 50s. They were using sound waves to kill people back then. You can kill somebody with an icicle and it melts. Where's the murder weapon? I'm just saying, people stop with this gun bullshit.
No, you're right. That's another distraction, really.
Huh?
That's just another distraction, really.
It's very much a distraction. It's bullshit. I don't mean, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna use better language.
Yeah. So when we go back to Bill Cosby, why was he released? How was he released? Because the charges just didn't stand?
There was no charges because you had to make up bullshit gossiping in your window. You had to use so-called character witness to have any evidence. He was never convicted of rape. He didn't rape her. So people keep on saying in the media, he raped. Nah, it's like with Tupac. Stop calling Tupac a rapist. He went to jail for improper touching of the buttocks. He didn't rape her. But people run with that stuff because, it's something about black masculinity. If you a black man who loves pussy, you in trouble.
Whoa, now you hitting on something.
Yeah, it's about if Bill Cosby loved Jell-O pudding pops more than he loved kitty cat, he would not be in this situation because there was no proof. Oh, he raped me at Selma. He raped you at Selma. Okay, where's the evidence though? When that kid not Emmett Till, he was raping me behind that grocery store. Come on now. Like, how many? I mean, it should be statute of limitation. How is he raping you when he paying your bills?
Right, and the Emmett Till lady alive, and they ain't went and grabbed her old ass out the nursing home. Yeah,
I mean, she in North Carolina. I'm saying she even said she lied. But the thing about Emmett Till, it's weird that black folks only think you important when white folks kill you.
Boy, you better shut up making too much sense.
Yeah, but but it was black folks that helped kill Emmett Till. How did we know that there were black people that helped kill Emmett Till in 55, but we don't know that in 2021? Just like I told you about the Rodney King. It was two other people in the car with him. And they ended up killing the other guy 3 months later because he was testifying. So, I mean, they do this all the time. Like Dr. King, I'm right across the street from where they shot Dr. King in the face. They had an army unit here on March the 28th of 68. By April 12th, they left because they were cleaning up loose ends. They were tying up loose ends, getting rid of witnesses and shit. That was the government that killed Dr. King. The gun that killed Dr. King came from the FBI.
Yeah, I heard it.
Chain of possession.
He was killed at the hospital.
Yeah, St. Joseph's. Because they had a couple hospitals they could have went, but they went to that one in particular to finish him off, allegedly. I got to say allegedly.
Allegedly. So coming at us. Allegedly. This whole show is allegedly.
Yeah.
So before we get to the BET Awards.
Oh, God. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead. The agenda is in full swing.
Yes, sir. BET Awards. How do you think Bill Cosby fares in the last parts of his life? What is he, like, in his 80s?
Yeah, he's 83, legally blind. Never should have been in prison to begin with.
But what's crazy is he still kept a sense of humor. I mean, they showed a shot of him going to court, and he just kind of ducked by the bushes. But even that was funny.
Really, he's the only black leader we have in America. I thought about it. He's the last of the black leaders that we actually have. Ain't nobody else. He got, in spite of people saying, well, he was messing around. His wife knew what the hell he was doing. She knew what. I mean, I don't know why people say it's cheating. It's not cheating if they have an understanding that we don't understand. We just don't understand their arrangement.
Yeah,
Dr. Camille Cosby knew that she had a horn dog on her hand.
Right. A lot of those couples, they have an open relationship. Like Ollie,
right.
Whatever his wife's name, the actors, they had an open relationship.
Oh, Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis, they were swingers. Look at Will and Jada. That weird stuff they got going on.
They have an open relationship, and for a lot of people that grow up to this, we don't get it, but this is what they do in entertainment. Yeah. So, how do you think he's gonna fare now?
I think it'll be fine. I mean, he paid his dues, man. He's well respected. I mean, he went to prison and did not consent to their bullshit. He refused to go to no classes. He's not a rapist. He's a humanitarian, philanthropist. He did so much, like I said, but the people that do a lot for us, we despise. Medgar Evers asked the NAACP, please send me bodyguards. They're trying to kill me. The NAACP did not send no bodyguard, not one. Years later, when his wife saved the institution from going away in the 90s, they finally apologized to Merle. But when Medgar was alive, they didn't give a damn.
Well, I mean, they always been doing us wrong, and black people continue to be continuously forgiven. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Christian. I believe in forgiveness, but I don't believe in being a fool. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe God will want me to be a fool either.
No, so, God don't want you to be a fool.
That's why when I just want to state again, it'll be some people that think I'm disgusting or you disgusting because of how we feel about Bill Cosby. But like I said, he had did so. Like, why would our people do so much of us and do so much for us, and then they have allegations come against them? They expect us to just throw our people away. But when any other race of people have a person who's done so much for them, they ain't throwing their ass away.
Well, think about this. Think about why do black people still want to live with white folks? If I told you about Tulsa, you ever been to Tulsa?
No, I haven't been. Yeah,
I went to Tulsa at the beginning of May, this past May. You know, the anniversary was at the end of May. But my thing is, why are you living around monsters like that? They will do that. They burn down our churches. They killed 4 little girls in a church. They burn down our churches and schools. They rape our women. They rape our men and children. Why are you so happy to be around these people? This is not about hate. This is about self-preservation. What other group or species of animal does this now?
And they're not strong mentally, because now the world is teaching everybody it's okay to be anything you want. It's okay to do whatever. There's no order.
Bullshit.
No, without order, things fail.
Yeah.
So, Ron, let's hit up the BT Awards. I'm only going on because I know at some point they try to knock us off of here. I want to make sure all this is going to be good.
Okay. You got to record it.
Talk on Neverleveltv on the Roku and FireTV, Smart Tvs. So download that, guys. So the Ron's going to be a guest. You can check him out on his YouTube channel. Go ahead and say your YouTube channel while we have
WeAllBeTV. One word, WeAllBeTV all together.
WeAllBeTV. He got a big, huge following over there. So, Ron, BET Awards, they really bother you. Why did they bother you this year?
Well, it don't really bother me. It just proves that they are pushing this agenda to depopulate black people. Like, you pushing this. I don't have no problem with people's lifestyle, but when you're pushing your lifestyle when it's really a death style, like the death of generations of potential black creativity, of black geniuses, of black families. You can do what you want to do individually, but we don't all got to see your bedroom politics for the world to on display. That should be your personal. I don't want to know what my mailman is a crackhead as long as I get my mail on time. I'm not worried about what he's doing his off hours. I'm not, because if you follow me around 24/7, you're going to be disappointed. It is what it is. I'm a human being. I do fucked up shit. It's like somebody said, it's an honor to talk to you. I just got to wipe my ass and using the toilet. I'm a human like you. I mean, I guess it's an honor to talk to you.
Right.
I got my ass and pick my nose like everybody else. Okay. I'm just a person. But it's not about me. It's about the message. And they understand the power of messaging certain things to our young people. Because it's a death style. Because think about the rappers that have been getting killed over the last several years. I mean, I'm a big Tupac fan. Tupac would have been 50 on June the 16th. But think about how all these rappers up in Chicago, the drill rap scene. You look at Dallas, what happened in Dallas and Atlanta and L.A., why are they killing rappers? Because you know why? Because rappers were the revolutionaries. See, Fred Hampton would have been like NBA Youngboy today. Or Bunchy Carter would have been Tupac today. They turned our revolutionaries into rappers now. See, we are message.
We ain't got that many. We ain't got that many revolutionaries, and the people that really speaking, they ain't letting them get the mainstream.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying, but once you like look at NBA Youngboy, the dude just 21, right? Think about the time he wasted in prison. And by the time they use him up, he gonna figure this shit out if he live long enough. He's like, dang, but he ain't gonna have the same type of, you know what I'm saying, following. Or he might, I don't know, because it's different now, because you got rappers now that can rap like the Rolling Stones. Jay-Z in his 50s. He can still get a crowd and other people like that. So, I mean, it's a different game now than it was even 10, 20 years ago for rappers and stuff. But I'm saying our revolutionaries, like Stokely Carmichael and H. Rap Brown, they would have been entertainers today. And really, the entertainers got it twisted because Dick Gregory and them knew their place back in the day. They was there to raise awareness and raise money for the real leaders of the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dick became a leader of the movement. He gave up that lifestyle. He sacrificed that lifestyle after meeting Medgar Evers. And my thing, I'm just fascinated by Medgar Evers because there's not too many speeches of Medgar Evers talking, but he had these guys under a spell. Like Dick Gregory just had to follow Medgar Evers, even to death. He wanted to die with Medgar Evers in Mississippi. Lena Horne, she was mesmerized by, she's a beautiful black woman. She was mesmerized by Medgar. Oh, Medgar, I'll do anything for you. Oh, what the hell he get over these people? And I had a chance to meet his brother a couple of times. He died last year. I think they spread his ashes over Medgar's grave. He was his brother's keeper, Charles Evers. Man, he just had pictures everywhere of Medgar's in the radio station. There's all these pictures of his brother. Because he came back to Mississippi to avenge his brother's death. Charles Evers was a gangster. And it was like he was a cool gangster, though, because he was a gangster for the people. He was like a pimp and number runner up in Chicago. He was a World War II veteran like his brother. He was a college graduate like his brother. They both went to Alcorn State. Well, Eric McNair went, Steve McNair. But he was running numbers and running women up in Chicago when his brother got killed down in Jackson. And he came back on a Delta airline flight with all type of rifles and guns. That man came on an airplane. You can't imagine in post 9/11 somebody doing it, but that man came on an airplane with his rifles and guns, waiting to kill the first white person that disrespected him, but ended up staying to take his brother's place as the field secretary of the NAACP, did a lot of political accomplishments in Mississippi. And I think he became like the first black mayor of an integrated town since Reconstruction in Mississippi back in '69. But yet the NAACP did him the greatest disservice when they did all these press releases on John Lewis and the great Reverend C.T. Vivian. Had a lot of love for Reverend C.T. Vivian. I had some respect for John Lewis, but they didn't do a press release on Medgar Evers' brother, Charles Evers. He won NAACP Man of the Year. I mean, why you don't do no? That's so disrespectful how you do the Evers family. Like I said, the people that love us, who serve and even give their lives for us, we don't respect. We don't respect them.
So I totally understand what you're saying, and that's been a main part of this conversation tonight. But now, to get back to the BET Awards.
All right, I'm sorry. You asked about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. How do we make black gay people feel accepted, or maybe don't feel like it's everybody's job or comfortable, but also at the same time express the importance of continuing the black family? Because I don't care what sexuality you are, it won't be nobody without the man and the woman procreating. Now, I don't know what science have built up and waiting on them. I know they be making wombs now and all type of stuff.
Yeah, that same Frankenstein bullshit.
Yeah, but natural stuff. Is there a way we can do both? Because you're gonna have some people saying, "Well, okay, black folks aren't supportive of the LGBTQZ, or I'm not trying to be funny, LGBTQ. So how do we do that, but also say it's important for black families to be uplifted? Because you want to say, I used to be a lot more liberal than I am now, but I'm actually becoming more conservative because I just feel like it's too much going on, and we're getting away from the truth of things just to make people feel comfortable. Now, I'm the kind of person, okay, once stuff starts feeling like it's a bunch of lies and just some crazy stuff, I can't really bump with it anymore.
Right.
May sound like I'm talking in code, but I'm not. It's just that things just don't got too far. We telling people it's left when it's right. It's red, and I just can't deal with it. So what else? So I don't know. What's your answer to that?
Well, I would say this: it ain't the black people that's a problem; it's the white gay community that's a problem. How they treat gay black people.
Okay.
I remember Billy Porter going off on black folks and stuff last summer. He was a darling of the Democratic Party during the convention. But if you're gonna talk shit about black people, call out Ed Buck too, who's killing black male prostitutes and experimenting on them with drugs. He's a serial killer, allegedly, and he's a big donor of the Democratic Party, the same party who created the Ku Klux Klan to terrorize black people. Some of the most racist people on the planet are white, gay, and male. Hitler had a group called the SAs, the brown shirts, that put him in power. He was a sexual homicidal maniacs that he was afraid of. He had to get rid of them in the night of the long knives. See, people got to look at their history. So they had a gay Gestapo back in the day, and they got a gay mafia right now. And we're not talking about individual gay people. I'm talking about there's a mob, there's a party with an agenda. I ain't talking about the average gay person. Just like Black Lives Matter ain't for the average black person. You know what I'm saying? It's an agenda.
Got people being everything but black first. And at the end of the day, they treat you like a Negro. So that's really what we're trying to say. We're not trying to say, like, we're not putting down anybody. We just trying to say at the end of the day, you got brown skin.
Right. They're going to see that first.
Stop feeling like all these people are your friends out here.
Right. You got no friends. We have no friends.
They passing laws that aren't for you.
Right.
Okay. They add in other groups that you think they care about, but they are really only doing it to try to get rights for only a certain part of that group. Mm-hmm. And I'm really gonna break that down like I really want to, but people, y'all black out here. Like when they talking about they protecting a whole group, they protecting certain people in that group. Right. So y'all better wake up.
Well, you know, we never had a problem with gay people they look. A lot of our greatest gospel artists and musicians were gay. Man, I was listening to Billy Preston today. They call him the fifth Beatle. This man was brilliant. He was the first music act on Saturday Night Live when it had that first show. Billy Preston was a G, man. He was brilliant, but he was gay. Okay. Luther Vandross, allegedly. Okay. Great musician, though. But my thing is, this is Black Music Month, and I would tell people, look at our history, man. Like, I love jazz and all that stuff. If you go back to the earlier part of the 20th century, a lot of the great jazz musicians from New Orleans in particular, said the greatest pianist of that era, this is from 1900 to 1920, was a cat named Tony Jackson from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Tony Jackson was an amazing piano player. He had a photographic memory. He could memorize songs in any genre, classical, ragtime, blues, spiritual, folk music, all that stuff. But they also said he wrote a lot of songs that white music writers end up taking credit for. Like he might have wrote the whole American Songbook, and he get no credit for it. But Tony Jackson was openly gay. He wrote songs about his homosexual lover, like one was called Pretty Baby. There was a popular American song. They actually made a movie called Pretty Baby back in the 70s with Antonio Fargas, the dude, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch played a Tony Jackson-like character. And Brooke Shields starred in the movie as a teenage prostitute down in Storyville, where jazz was created. So Tony Jackson was well respected by, a lot of great musicians like Joey Roy Morton and Sidney Bechet who loved women. So they had a lot of respect for his talent. But he died young, before he was 40 years old. Depending on your source, he died from either syphilis or pneumonia or something like that. But he was wiped out before he turned 40. But Tony Jackson was openly gay during a time when they were lynching black folks every day or day and a half. So and black folks respected Tony Jackson. Y'all can look him up.
And one of the points we're trying to get to is we don't like Lil Nas X. I mean, I'm not going to say, like I said earlier, we get sick of having to kiss people's butt and then say why we don't like them.
Yeah.
I lost followers on my page because I said I didn't like him. I don't like what he's portraying. And it's because, first of all, he's not the first artist to say they're gay, but he's trying to push them up like he is. And he started off trying to act like he was for a kid. Now he's sliding down the pole. And I know people will say, well, you got other artists like Nicki Minaj and they for the kids, but it just feels different because not only is he doing that, he gonna drop those devil shoes. Yeah. On his Instagram page, he's constantly posting pictures with him as dark angels.
Yeah. So
he's playing with a lot of stuff. It's like he's highly sexualized. And now he's promoting the devil. And I don't care what religion you come from. We all pretty much look at that devil as the same thing. Whether you think it's a person, negative energy, or what, this guy is into dark things. And all the people I see that's trying to say, oh, no, he meant this with the video, Montero. Oh, he meant that. And, in the video, he starts off, I don't know if he was an angel or what, but he falls down a stripper pole and go all the way to hell. And then he lap dance on the devil. I didn't watch the whole video, but people said that he killed the devil, so I'm supposed to be happy because he was just trying to tell people, hey, you guys said I was going to hell, so here's me going to hell.
Yeah.
But,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I ain't got shit to say. I just don't like the kid. I'm just being honest with you. I don't like nothing he about. And if y'all feel like there wasn't a good reason to like him, I really don't give a damn. I don't like him. I mean, anybody that's gonna put 666 on a shoe, then put blood in it, market your whole self to children, and now you wanna slide down a pole and get a devil a dance. I can't rock.
But think about how Walt Disney has incorporated subliminal messages in their cartoons for generations. How that affected us. And think about the Disney kids and how a lot of their lives end up in turmoil and stuff. Like, they all dysfunctional. Like, Britney Spears was a Disney kid star. Think about Raven-Symoné, and there's a couple of others. You know? So I mean it's deep, man. All this stuff is occult energy. Like well,
real quick, what else? Since we on BT Award, what else about the BT Awards did you not like?
Well, it's not that I didn't like it. It's the fact that I know that they on their agenda Kool-Aid. I just can't take them seriously. Like, BT had good intentions when it started. It started in my birth year, 1980. Bob Johnson was from Mississippi. He told people back in the 60s he wanted a black-owned network that dealt with black people. And folks laughed at him, just back in the 60s. You fast forward to the 80s, he started BT as a 2-hour thing on the weekends. He started as a 2-hour thing on the weekends, and he would use reruns from classic TV shows and movies to take up that time. And you fast forward to 2021, he's no longer the owner, but it's still around, and it's still having an impact on the culture. So that's something to be said about having a dream and not knowing how you're going to make it manifest, but having the will to make it happen regardless. And that should be, but at the same time, our problem as a people, when we try to control our story and our product, it put us in perilous situations like Kobe Bryant. Like, I even go back, you from Macon, Georgia, think about the late, great Otis Redding, who owned his publishing. He got that big old ranch. He was a brilliant businessman, but I talked to cats that knew Otis at Stacks. They said he was stupid. Not because he wasn't stupid. He was highly intelligent, but he kept on telling everybody his plans. He was broadcasting all these plans and letting white folks know that black music gonna be controlled by black people. And then he was supposed to do a distribution thing with James Brown back in the day. And before they could do the distribution where they could control their intellectual property, he get killed conveniently in a plane crash at the age of 26. Now, he wrote the song Respect that Aretha Franklin made famous. That's his song.
Crazy.
And he did I love Otis Redding, but I mean, it is what it is.
And they got the pictures online where you can see the plane crash and everything.
You can see his body frozen. Yeah, it's crazy.
I seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's in Jet Magazine. I mean, he had some money on him too. I think he had like a suitcase like with $5,000, $10,000, and them people took it because they're like the salary for a cop up in that area for a whole year. I think their salary was like $5,000. That dude just had $5,000 something in the suitcase. Nobody ever knew what happened to it, but they turned it in to the police though.
This is some crazy stuff, bro. We gonna do tonight. We got like 5 more minutes. You can give a summary, talk about another topic you want to talk about. Let's just get it all out on the table here. Because for the folks just joining, Ron's gonna be on the KeraDangerous talk show again.
I'm gonna have you on my platform too.
TV awesome. He's a big YouTuber. If you don't know, tell them where they can find you again, Ron.
Oh, that go YouTube for now. I mean, they still got me on the platform. WeAllBeTV, one word, WeAllBeTV.
All right, and what else you got for us to summarize everything that's crazy? Bill Cosby, whatever. The BET Awards, Kobe, whatever.
Well, I would say with the Bill Cosby thing, they could do that to somebody with resources. We don't have a chance as a people. Because Bill Cosby had means and resources, and they still got to him like that. And they still made him. I don't know if he could sue anybody. I mean, I had Judge Joe Brown on the show earlier. He said he can't really sue anybody. Because they did what they did. Like with OJ. They found a way to punish OJ. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do that. I never believe OJ pulled that off. The timeline don't make sense.
Do you think, like, Can anybody be a good enough person to where they can't find any dirt on you, or you think they're gonna make some? They're gonna find your weakness and get you, or because you look at Bill Cosby and say, "Why was he so stupid? He had to know that this could happen."
Well,
but is the person stupid? Like,
I mean, everybody, smart people do stupid stuff all the time. Don't mean you're not smart. It means you're just human. And with Cosby, he actually thought he was insulated from that type of stuff. He thought he was one of those, first one and only Negroes on some level. Like, I'm a different type of Negro. I ain't like just the average street Negro. I got resources and means. But they still got to him. They killed his legacy and Ennis. That was his only male son, his heir to his legacy. They killed him when he tried to buy that network, allegedly. And also what people got to understand, too. I want people to understand this because a lot of us ain't going to get this. Bill Cosby in 2014 was having a lot of success. He had that multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, had that sold-out comedy tour he was on, trying to do a sitcom, come back on TV. Bill Cosby was on top of it, and he was still trying to buy a network. And here's the thing. He also was fighting against Kinder Morgan. That's a large energy giant on the East Coast. Kinder Morgan wanted to build a pipeline through his property and other people's property in the Northeast. And Bill Cosby and his wife are land conservationists. They believe in conserving the land for future generations to enjoy. So they combined with other environmental activists to take on Kinder Morgan. His wife wrote an op-ed that's still available online from March 2014, saying they stood in solidarity with the environmental activists taking on this energy giant. They were trying to exploit the land. And by the end of 2014, Hannibal Buress did that BS stand-up, mentioning Cosby's name. They destroyed Cosby by the end of 2014.
Yeah,
so it's not just about rape. This is about land. This is about power. This is about money.
So you think they got Hannibal Buress to start it off, or did they, after he did, they just...
He's just a tool. He's the one that started because he mentioned Bill Cosby in his stand-up act, and just so happened it was a media person in the crowd that recorded it and got it out there. That was a frame-up. Bill Cosby was targeted for a takedown.
But do you think that Buress, he was a part of it, or...
He was at a low level. He's just a tool. He's not no mastermind.
Yeah.
There was people involved in killing Dr. King and Malcolm X, but they were not the masterminds behind everything. They're just tools and puppets and pawns. He was just a tool, puppet, and pawn.
Yeah, it's like the dope boys on the street, but they ain't the
main. They ain't running shit, right. The real people run shit are insulated. And the thing about power, what people gotta understand is you can't help power unless they got dirt on your ass. And Bill Cosby spent a lot of time with the Playboy Mansion, all I gotta say. So they had dirt on him from a long time ago.
Because you know what? Hugh Hefner, he's safely... Well, we don't know how he's resting. Maybe he ain't resting in peace, but all I know is he got a chance to die. And
right to Dick Gregory. He sponsored Dick Gregory's career, actually. They died like with a month or so of each other.
Yeah, and none of he never got brought down for anything, but he was the one had all the girls in the house and the drugs and everything, but not one. Nobody wanted to talk about that though. He
could have been like the prototype for Jeffrey Epstein. When I come to think about it, I think maybe he's the blueprint for Jeffrey Epstein. Hugh Hefner. I don't know. Allegedly. I don't know. It's deep, man. It's really deep.
But what's crazy is when you watch that Hugh Hefner, like, I don't know if it's a documentary or whatever, it's on one of these streaming networks.
No, Amazon Prime. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
They try to make it up like he was such a, like he wanted to be with one woman and he was awkward. Like,
yeah, he was goofy.
He just fell into liking pictures of women. Like, they tried to make it up like he was still a good guy and respectable and all that. But out of all the stuff Bill Cosby done, though, we just have to look at him as trash.
I mean, it is what it is. Everybody got a good side and a bad side. And no matter how good you are and how good of a person you always going to be a villain in somebody's story. You might be the hero in your story, but that's somebody's story that you the villain in. And you can't do shit about it.
Well, Ron, we're going to end it like that because I'm about to lose power anyway.
Me too.
But
we got the power, sister. We got the power. Yes, right. We got the power.
And for all the people that was in the live talking about we need our own black media, then y'all support us. When you see us put out a flyer, y'all repost it. Tell your friends about the show. Tell them to watch Run on YouTube. Tell them to watch KeraDangerous Talk. Download the app. Right. It's like, stop the talking and help us out. Like, people want independent stuff, or are y'all supporting it? Okay. We ain't even asked you to send us look into our Cash App, but if you want to, my Cash App is KeraDangerous, KERA Dangerous, $ in the front. I don't know, Ron, you can give a plug, but otherwise, I'm gonna see you later.
All right, Cash App R2C2H2. Y'all take care. We love you madly, Sister Kera. Keep
All
producing and
right,
pushing.
stay black, stay real, and don't
All
forget,
right.
die for
Hey,
something or don't stand for nothing.
that's right.